A pleasant day and a warm welcome to your favorite show, iMed. iMed is a program where we discuss health issues, health concerns, and giving you solutions to lead a successful life. Health is simply wealth. Health is well-being. Sometimes it might be spiritual well-being combined with social, physical, and mental well-being. So to prepare ourselves in a manner that we need to lead a successful life, we have to get all these factors together. There are many things we have to consider when it comes to a certain issue, and when it comes to diseases, there are numerous diseases. There are communicables, non-communicables, and there are many. So today with iMed program, we are going to discuss about non-communicable diseases and how to adjust our lifestyles to prevent from non-communicable diseases. So to the honors with us, we have one of the most thorough gentlemen to discuss about this topic. He is none other than specialist physician, Dr. Priyankara Jayawardena. Thank you very much, sir, for joining with us, with our studios, with iMed program. And sir, first of all, to start off the topic, can you just explain us what non-communicable diseases are?
Yeah, non-communicable diseases means that the disease will not go from one person to the other person. You know, when you think the COVID or dengue or influenza, it can go from one person to other person. But non-communicable diseases are not like the one person can't give it to another person, like diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, maybe lung diseases, cancer, stroke, and those things. And those things, we don't get those things from somebody else. So it's our duty, our fault. If we get it, then we have to think why I got it and why my parents or my children got these non-communicable diseases, because it doesn't come from another person.
Right. So when it comes to a certain communicable diseases, sir, if we are in contact with a person with that particular disease, or through by means of mosquitoes, when it comes to dengue, we know that we are infected. So what are the risk factors basically when it comes to these non-communicable diseases?
Yeah, the thing is, when you talk about dengue, people get fever.
Yes.
They get COVID, they get sore throat and cough and fever and things like that. But most of the time, the early stages of the non-communicable diseases are they are asymptomatic. People
That's
don't
why
know.
I think they say silent killers.
Yes.
Yes.
That's why they are called as silent killers, especially high blood pressure. If it is not very high value, usually people won't feel anything. That's why it's important to go and see a doctor when you are passing 35 years and check the blood pressure. And the blood sugar, most of the time, asymptomatic. You don't know that you are having high blood sugar. That's why important to check the blood sugar. Nowadays, our lifestyle is different. You know. One might ask, why didn't you do those things 50 years ago? But 50 years ago, and now there are lots of changes in the society and the environment. Cholesterol is the same. The high cholesterol is completely asymptomatic. Some people come and say, I have high headache, then I check the cholesterol and it was high. No, it's not. It's just an incidental finding. Cholesterol, high cholesterol. Completely, you don't know whether you are having cholesterol or not unless you check it. Only thing, the people might come with a heart attack or stroke. Then we check the blood pressure. Blood pressure could be high, blood sugar could be high, and the cholesterol could be high. So at that time, it's too late. So that's why it's important to check those things before they get the complications or problems or end results of those illnesses. More than that, to prevent of getting it by changing mostly the lifestyle.
So changing the lifestyle as in like when we are very small aged people, and is there any proper mechanism or any method to adjust our lifestyle from our younger ages?
Yeah. People think about diseases when they pass 35 years or 40, which is wrong. We have to be careful from the day we are born. That means it's not when we are very small that we don't know what's happening. It's our parents' duty, and now we are parents, so it's our duty to look after our kids since the day they are born to this world. That's why people talk about giving breast milk, and especially before they go to school, be careful about the weight and monitor the weight and give proper food, balanced diet and things like that. And when they go to school, and it's important to maintain a good weight. Now we know that most of the, not most, especially in the urban area, the Colombo and cities, most of the children are obese. Those days we were talking about the undernutrition. Now we talk about overnutrition. So both are equally bad. And importance of involving exercise or involving games and things like that. And to exposure the children for games and social activities to cope up the stress. So basically the lifestyle, if I mention the factors belongs to the lifestyle changes, first thing is the diet. We should select the proper diet. It has to be done from the day we are born. Then, and when we were small, and when we are young, and when we are old, diet. Then exercise. And weight. Weight has to be according to our height.
That is BMI.
Yes. Yeah. Then smoking. There's no place for smoking.
Right.
And limit the alcohol. There is no safe limit for alcohol, honestly. And cope up the stress. So if I mention those things again, weight, exercise, diet, alcohol, smoking, and the cope up the stress. So those are the factors we should consider from from the small days. Some people think that we have to think about those things when we are grown up or when we are come to a kind of a particular age, which is not. So if you are not careful with diet, and if you are not we are obese when you are as a child or school going boy or girl, subsequent latter part of the life they are prone to get diabetes, hypertension and cholesterol. So we can't go by age. Some people are in 90s, no medical problems. Some people are in 30s and 40s, in our language, full option. Diabetes, pressure, cholesterol.
Yes. Right. So when it comes to that explanation, what I quote is that normally some people say in our ordinary society, if we are fat too much or if we are too much thin, that does not matter. What only matters is health. So when it comes to your explanation, the height should be adjusted according to the weight, that is BMI. So can you comment on that statement that where the society is involved with, although we are very much obese or very thin, if we are healthy, it's okay. Is it okay actually?
Well, the thing is, we expect this BMI, there's a formula for that. The weight, depending on the weight in kilograms and the height in the meters, and weight should be divided by the height squared. Yeah. And it should be, ideally it should be 23, less than 25.
Yes.
That is one parameter. Second parameter, especially the Asians, the visceral fat, what you call abdominal fat. Some people are having a big tummy, which is very unhealthy. We feel that when somebody is having a big tummy or abdominal fat or visceral fat in our language, they are prone to metabolic disorders like diabetes, hypertension and cholesterol and fatty liver. So you have to consider two things. One thing is to maintain the weight according to height, and in technical language to keep the BMI around 23, less than 25, and be careful about the tummy, and that has to be, that is very important. Some people are the BMI is okay, but there's a huge tummy. Visceral fat or abdominal fat, which is not very healthy.
Right. So the next point that I'm going to raise is that you explained that there is no safe limit for alcohol. Some alcohol consumers, they suggest that having a small amount of alcohol will be good for health, beneficial for health. Is that so, sir?
No. The thing is, there is a culture. People like to enjoy life, so we can't say don't do this thing, don't do that thing and things like that for rest of their life. And alcohol is legally not bad. And, smoking is completely out in our medical language. Alcohol, there is no benefit, honestly, and there are very few trials, but they are not internationally not accepted. And there's no safe limit, but it's better not. And if it is very, very occasional and very, very social, you know, then we can't restrict it, and we don't want to restrict it unless they are having other medical problems like diabetes, high blood pressure, liver problems, and kidney problems.
Right. So in that
but
sense,
you have to be carefully interpret this socially.
Right. So with that interpretation, I think you might have a proper understanding. This is with regard not to limiting your social restrictions or whatsoever, but if you are prone to such diseases, you have to limit in order to maintain a good health. And so, like with our discussions and explanations, we discussed about smoking, and if a certain person is willing to prevent from NCDs, the non-communicable diseases, he can totally ban smoking, and he can totally stop using alcohol. And even if he is not exercising or not having a proper diet, we can advise him and strictly adhere to those things. And those factors, they can be changed. So are there any risk factors which cannot be changed and which causes NCDs?
Correct. There are certain risk factors we can't correct. You and me are Asians. So our genes are prone to get diabetes. So we are different from Europeans. They can have good amount of chocolates. They won't get diabetes easily. They can get a fair amount of cheese, and they are partially protected from cholesterol, and they can take alcohol more than our Asians. We are prone to diseases, genetically prone to diseases like diabetes. But those days, we were farmers, and our diet style was different, you know, that it was basically cuddle, mung, and, you know, that kind of things. And it's not the kind of a very sweety or sugary or ice cream type of thing. So dietary style was different those days, and they were farmers, so they worked very hard. So because of those two factors, because of the changes in the diet and the lifestyle, maybe that less stress, they didn't get those things. But nowadays our environment is changing. So we also go by the European diet, and people are selecting, you know, that people select the jobs like IT and you know, the jobs which they don't do much exercise,
sedentary lifestyle.
And changing the lifestyle, changing in the food pattern. So we are prone to more diseases, and as we are genetically prone for those things. And certain families, especially diabetes and high blood pressure and cholesterol, it goes in certain families. So if father or mother is having diabetes or high blood pressure or cholesterol, there's a high chance that it can go to their children. So it's sensible to check the blood sugar, blood pressure, and cholesterol when they are young, if their parents are having those diseases, because that's a family and genetic involvement on those things. Cancer is also non-communicable disease. We don't have a chance. Certain families, there are cancer genes going on. Lung diseases also rarely could happen the same thing, but you know, there's a familial thing, a genetic thing is there, which you and me can't, we don't have a choice. But again, if we can change the lifestyle, we can overcome the things which
cannot be modified. Right. So with that explanation, I think you might have a thorough understanding that there are certain factors which can be modified and which cannot be modified. So the non-modifiable factors, there is nothing to do with those things, but with the proper lifestyle and proper adjustments, we can manage those things. And so, like with our explanations, the other thing was that at the initial stages, these things are asymptomatic. That means, another word, silent killers. So is that mean that this is like slowly progressing, or in some cases people tend to explain those slowly progressing things are like, we can consider our health like after this time period, we can have a good diet and we can enjoy ourselves, and we can skip this time period, and then only we can concern our health because it's slowly progressing. So how can you give an advice to the society?
No, the thing is, you know, that think about our parents. They are maybe in the 80s and 90s. Most of them are you know, with age you get certain problems like osteoporosis, gray in our hair and things like that. But most of them are free of diabetes, pressure and cholesterol because they had a healthy lifestyle when they are young. So even their 80s and 90s, they enjoy the life. You know, they go for a walk and you know, they walk around, having get-togethers with friends and go to the religious places. But there are other people in 50s with a stent and stroke, diabetic, hypertension, kidney failure. So the reason is they were not careful when they were young. Maybe they have to think about their health from the school days at least. Yeah, because if they don't, if they are not careful when they were young or when they were small, then naturally by the time they come to 30s or 40s, they are sick. So school days, school children, the parents has to be look after their children's health, should not give unhealthy food. That sometimes people think that we have money, we should give the best to the children, which is not best, doesn't mean that the unhealthy things. We see lots of obese children, you know, the fatty children, and definitely they will be having health problems when they are grown up. So we have to pay big attention to the to the health of the school children, their diet, exercise and weight. Then when they are young, when they are in 20s and 30s, then again they should pay attention to the diet, exercise, weight and those you know, kind of lifestyle changes. No point waiting until you get those diabetes, hypertension and cholesterol. This is too late. But unfortunately, we see some people, they are having diabetes, hypertension, cholesterol, maybe heart problems, plus they are not bothered about the lifestyle changes. They want medicine. Doctor gives some medicine, you know, we can't, I can't control my food, I can't do exercise, and I have a busy lifestyle, I can't stop smoking, I need a drink in the evening. So they think that they can control these medical problems only by medicine, which is wrong.
And sir, like when it comes to those diseases, when someone is prone or yet to be prone, they think that like medicine might be the only option, and there is a false ideology in the society that if I am suffering from hypertension, if I am diagnosed with hypertension or rather high blood pressure or high blood sugar levels, people like they take medicine, and like with several weeks or several months after medicine, the reports come to normal levels, and they think that they can manage it with the diet and they stop medicine without medical advices. So is it good, bad?
Well, it's the thing is, if they have a medical problem, maybe high blood pressure, high blood sugar or cholesterol, they should not start medicine straight away. They should give a time for diet, lifestyle changes, walk and, you know, get rid of few kilos and change the lifestyle at least 3-4 months. If the blood sugar, blood pressure and cholesterol not very high, marginally high, then if we will try our level best with lifestyle changes, and if it's not settling, then we go for medicine. The thing is, some people, for example, cholesterol, some people get high cholesterol purely because of their lifestyle. They are obese, they eat lots of fat and fatty food. But when they stop those things, the cholesterol becomes normal. On the other hand, there's another group, they take average amount of fat, average amount of maybe meat, and they are not obese, they have high cholesterol. That group is mostly genetics. So they are, as you said, inherited from the families. There are certain genetical situations. If I eat, say, think that I am a vegetarian. So if I eat some string hoppers in the morning, when it is digested from the intestine, when those calories go to the liver, part of the calories converted to the cholesterol in the liver by specific enzyme. So that kind of people, lifestyle is not adequate. They need medicine. So to inhibit those enzymes which produce the cholesterol in the body. So that kind of people need medicine. So if the initial decision to start medicine is correct, maybe that giving adequate time for lifestyle changes and see whether we could correct those situations with the change in the lifestyle. Then if we have to start medicine, then they have to continue it. Otherwise, what would happen, they will start it, the medicine, and in 2 months time, as you said, the reports are good, they stop it, and 3 months time they will come with a heart attack or stroke. So they should not stop the medicine without medical advice.
So stopping the medicine is not a solution, and once that means, so once we initiate medications, we have to continue, is it?
Well, if the decision to start medicine in the first point, if it is correct, then they have to continue. You know, some people just one reading with high blood pressure, sometimes there are home remedies also.
Yes.
Start a bit of high cholesterol or bit of high blood sugar. Without changing the lifestyle, they start medicine. Sometimes, you know, this medicine may be too much for them. In 2 months' time, when they check the blood sugar or cholesterol, it will be very low. Which is not necessary. First decision to start medicine has to be a very correct decision. It has to be after discussion with the patient and the doctor. You know, they have to analyze why he got the blood pressure, whether there is a kind of a transient stressful period, maybe a death of a family member or losing job, or maybe this kind of financial or crisis in the country. Then you have to carefully analyze why the blood pressure is high, why the blood sugar high. Maybe that people these days, there are lots of fruits in the market. So Sri Lankan fruits are very sweet. So because of the fruits, maybe that they have got this
certain high levels of sugar.
And cholesterol may be the same. So need a good discussion, the doctor and the patient. Then they are in a kind of a period for them to change the lifestyle. And if the blood sugar is very high, maybe 300 or 400, there's no chance, then we have to start. If the blood pressure is very high or blood cholesterol is very high, then we have to think about giving medicine. Another thing, if somebody is having high blood pressure, high cholesterol, maybe high glucose, and their parents also having same medical problem. And when it comes to when you ask about the family situation, the father had a heart attack when he was in 50s, or mother had to take a cholesterol medicine or stent when she is in 50s. Then that means there is a involvement from the family genetics. Then we consider giving medicine at early stages. And we discuss about their jobs also. Sometimes certain jobs, as you said, sedentary lifestyle like IT and things like that. So sometimes nowadays there are people who work 18 hours on a computer. So that is their job. We can't ask them to give up the job. Then sometimes we go beyond the lifestyle. You know, we may have to start medicine considering those situations are special scenarios. And so, like, when it comes to, as we are running out of time and we are coming to the latter part of the program, and I would like to enlighten some facts with our guest, Dr. Priyanka Jayawardena, about some investigations. And so, when it comes to investigations, normally if we can check our blood sugar and we can check a cholesterol report and we can move with some ordinary test without medical prescriptions, and we can just analyze them, like there are certain reference values in different reports. The reference values might change. So how can we just take an idea whether our blood sugars, that if our reports are normal, no need to visit a physician. If like certain values we can't understand because we are not physicians, and we as ordinary citizens we should go for physicians. With what reference levels we should go for physicians when it considered like cholesterol, blood sugar? What are the certain values that people should consider? Well, basically, when we have to check the blood pressure, that has to be done by a doctor. Or, you know, home meters are not very reliable. Fasting blood sugar should be less than 100. Going above 100 doesn't mean you need treatment, as I mentioned, the lifestyle. And blood pressure, ideally 120 by 80, you can wait until it's 140 by 90. But if somebody is having medical problems like diabetes and kidney disease, we tend to keep blood pressure a little lower value, like 130 by 80. And cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, we prefer if it is less than 100, and triglyceride If it is less than 150 and there is a friendly type of cholesterol, HDL, it should be more than 40. But it's in this country, you know, that the OPD doctor or hospital is still, the government hospitals are functioning. It's nice to meet a doctor at least with the reports, check the blood pressure, rather than taking own decisions. Yeah,
right.
yeah. So though it is, if it is the things are marginal, it could be the beginning of a big problem.
Big problem.
Yeah, yeah. Then if the thing is, sometimes when people check their liver functions and people have bit of fatty liver may be the beginning of the diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, or high that kind of you know, even beginning of a liver problem. Right. So it's better to see a doctor. Government hospitals are functioning very well, and you know that the health is free of charge.
Free of charge.
And the no need to see a specialist physician. At least to see a family doctor and have a chat with him is I think it's a good practice, because the social situation is different from our parents' days. You know, we do different jobs. And we eat different things, and we don't exercise like them, and we don't do lots of manual hard working like those things.
Yes. So like that means like with specific protection and health promotion is good in Sri Lanka, so that you can have a proper diagnosis before initiating treatment, and you can lead a successful healthy life, preventing yourself from diseases. And today we said to discuss about non-communicable diseases. And thank you very much, sir, Dr. Priyankar Jayawardena, specialist physician, for doing honors with us with today's iMed program. And we are counting to do many programs in the future as well to inform you, to advise you with your good health. So thank you very much for joining, and stay safe. Have a pleasant day.